Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa, questions officials as to why the government is not allocating funds for the farmers' pension scheme. The parliamentarian made this statement during a public rally held in the Nochagama area.
The public rally was held in the Pamunugama area in Nochagama in order to rally support for the upcoming provincial council polls. A large number of people, including those contesting for the North Central Provincial Council, were present at the occasion. Parliamentarians, cabinet ministers, the Prime Minister and even the President receive a pension from public funds. However, the government is not allocating money for the farmer pension scheme. They don't have money for the farmers' pension scheme, but they have enough money to waste on the data curula.
The protest vehicle parade from Dondra Head to Point Pedro, organized by the Janata Vimukti Peramana, arrived in Maharagama today.
The vehicle parade is named the Call to Rally Against the Rule Under Which the People Suffer. The parade, which commenced its journey from Galle this morning, subsequently organized a campaign to create awareness amongst the public by distributing leaflets at the Alutgama town. The procession then reached the Kalutara town. The demonstrators engaged in a satyagraha, charging that no solution has been provided to resolve the IZ score crisis. This satyagraha has been organized in Kalutara town to urge the government to solve the IZ score crisis that is destroying the education of students and to serve justice for them.
Let's now take a look at the cartoon of the day that we selected from amongst today's newspapers. Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca says that even though other countries are committed to developing Montessori, the situation in Sri Lanka is not the same. He expressed this view at a function held in Thalawathugoda this afternoon.
Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca participated as the chief guest at the sports meet of a Montessori in the Kalalgoda area in Thalawathugoda. The leaders of other countries pay special attention in developing Montessoris. However, there is no such situation in this country. If it's a Montessori of a relative of theirs, then they will put all their efforts in helping it.
The General Secretary of the Citizens Front, Parliamentarian J. Sri Ranga, says that since politics in the country is based on religion and language, Sri Lanka continues to remain as a developing country. He expressed this view at an event held in Colombo today.
The annual sports meet of the Joseph Vaz Montessori in Grand Pass was held at the Sugatadasa Stadium today. The General Secretary of the Citizens Front, Parliamentarian J. Sri Ranga, was the chief guest at the event.
When we received independence, there was a significant difference between us and Singapore. In 1968, Lee Kuan Yew made a statement. In 2012, we are saying that Sri Lanka should be made to be like Singapore. There is a reason for this. Lee Kuan of Singapore never came into politics talking about language and religion. However, we in Sri Lanka come into politics talking about language and religion.
April 2012. Dry weather conditions experienced around the country from the beginning of April. The crops are dying and we are dying without food. Over 5,000 hectares of farmlands destroyed due to the drought conditions, the Ministry of Agriculture notes. They did not heed our advice. Instead of cultivating 40% of the land, they cultivated 100%. Combined committee appointed to provide compensation to farmers, the Presidential Media Unit notes. 22 farmer societies in Rajarata surrounded a building where the former chief minister residing, demanding compensation. Will drought relief be granted after the rains?
The AmCham Bowling Tournament 2012 was held in Colombo last evening. This is organized by the American Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka.
3M Lanka Private Limited.
The 2012 Dhamma Conference organized by the Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society was held in Colombo today. The conference was held at the premises of the Agrashravaka Vihara in Malika Khanda, Colombo.
A large number of intellectuals representing both the clergy and laymen attended the conference, which was aimed at strengthening peace, unity and equality between races. The conference commenced following religious observances. I believe that it was the need of the hour to establish a Buddhist university in India. When we engage in activities in that nation, it is important to promote goodwill and act with awareness.
The annual Ther festival of the Mayurapati Sri Bhadrakali Amman Kovil in Colombo was held today. A large number of devotees were present at the religious ceremony. The annual festivities started on the 7th of this month. Incidentally, this is the 25th annual festival of the Mayurapati Sri Bhadrakali Amman Kovil. Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Nivard Cabral, says the oversubscription of the recent $1 billion bond issue showcased the investor confidence level towards Sri Lanka. He expressed this view at a function held in Colombo yesterday.
The 42nd annual general meeting of the Sri Lanka Shippers Council was held in Colombo last evening under the auspices of the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Nivard Cabral.
We have seen recently the confidence levels coming up in our country. Just last week, I'm glad that two of our assistant governors are here, two people who were involved in the current bond issue that we just concluded, $1 billion. And it was oversubscribed in 12 hours to the extent of 10 times. That means $10 billion. So whatever anyone may say, you can see how much foreign investors who have to part with dollars, not just with mere words, have Sri Lanka on their radar screen.
You're with News First, and up next is Look at Action TV.
For nearly a month, there had been talk about corruption and malpractices which take place in relation to the health sector. The basis for this was the covering up of a report compiled by the Presidential Investigation Unit with regard to a complaint lodged in June 2010 on the purchase of surgical equipment. 21 trade unions affiliated to the health service got together as the Health Services Trade Union Federation and expressed views to the media about the investigation carried out by the Presidential Investigation Unit. The stance of this federation was that the investigation of the Presidential Investigation Unit is something that need not be considered important. The Government Medical Officers Association expressed their stance in this regard at a backdrop where the report of the Presidential Investigation Unit was released. The report of the investigation conducted by Health Ministry disregarding the recommendations of the Presidential Investigation Report was also issued when the GMOA expressed their views. Convening a media briefing, the GMOA said on Monday that considering the investigation report of the Ministry of Health, the Director General of Health or any other person had not committed any fraud or there had been no malpractice when purchasing the said surgical equipment. The communique issued by the GMOA proves that it was the Director General of Health that helped them to come to this conclusion. According to this communique, the Director General of Health himself had provided the GMOA with all the documents related to this matter. It is administratively unethical for an external party to arrive at a conclusion using documents which were used for a departmental investigation, and it is also questionable how the Director General of Health, who is a head of a department, handed over such documents to an external party.
Health Services Director Dr. Ajit Mendes is a senior member of the GMOA. Therefore, he made a request from us to express our stance regarding the matter.
However, according to the constitution of the GMOA, all members of the association are to be treated equally, irrespective of their grade, seniority or class.
With two solid partnerships in the middle order helped Sri Lanka to recover from a poor start to post a challenging 286 runs for 5 wickets in the third one-day international against India at the R. Premnath Stadium in Colombo.
Winning the toss and batting first, Sri Lanka lost their first 3 wickets for 20 runs. However, a 121-run fourth wicket stand between Kumar Sangakkara and skipper Mahela Jayawardene resurrected the Sri Lankan innings. Jayawardene made 65 while Sangakkara contributed a patient 73. Their wickets did not stop the flow of runs for the hosts by any means. A 104-run sixth wicket stand between Angelo Matthews and Jeevan Mendis powered Sri Lanka to a total of 286 for 5 in their allotted 50 overs. Matthews made an unbeaten 71 off 57 balls, while Mendis was not out on 45.
Away firmly. There's a fieldsman down there though, and only 3 deliveries.
For chasing 286 for victory, India were 183 runs for the loss of 4 wickets after 36 overs a short while ago. Meanwhile, manager of the Sri Lanka cricket team, Charit Senanayake, stated that Kumar Sangakkara, who sustained an injury in today's match, could be out of action for 6 weeks, missing the last 2 ODIs of the series. Now moving on, a former member of the Sri Lanka cricket team, a former manager as well as a former cricket administrator, Abu Fuad, passed away this evening. Abu Fuad, who was an old boy of Wesley College, Colombo, was 75 years old at the time of his demise. He represented the national team during the 1960s and was a manager of the Sri Lankan team which recorded the country's first test victory.